When I first moved into my new apartment, I thought I'd found the perfect place. It was in a nice neighborhood, rent was reasonable, and the building had character, a quaint, older style that made it stand out. Little did I know that character was about to turn into something unsettling. My new roommate Sam was a quiet guy. He worked odd hours and seemed to keep to himself. We hardly saw each other, which suited me just fine. I was busy with work and appreciated the quiet. However, within a few weeks, I started noticing odd things around the apartment. Food would disappear from the fridge, personal items like my toothbrush or socks would be misplaced, and I occasionally heard strange noises at night, soft rustling or faint whispers. At first, I chalked it up to my imagination. Maybe Sam was just a bit careless and I was overthinking things. But then the oddities became harder to ignore. One night I woke up to the sound of muffled talking. It was coming from the walls. I sat up in bed, heart pounding, and strained to listen. The voices were indistinct, like a conversation happening on the other side of a thin barrier. I mentioned it to Sam the next day, but he shrugged it off, blaming the old building. "The walls are thin," he said. "You can hear the neighbors sometimes." It was plausible, yet something about his tone felt off. A few days later, I came home to find a hidden door in the back of my closet slightly ajar. I had never noticed it before. Curiosity got the better of me, and I pulled it open. It revealed a small crawl space that extended behind the walls of the apartment. My heart raced as I crawled in a bit, flashlight in hand. To my horror, I found a small area set up with blankets, food wrappers, and personal belongings. Someone had been living there. Panic set in as I backed out of the crawl space, bumping into Sam, who was standing right behind me. His face was a mask of calm, but his eyes betrayed a sinister glint. "I can explain," he said, raising his hands in a placating gesture. It turned out Sam had a twin brother, Mark, who had fallen on hard times. Instead of finding another place to stay, Mark had been secretly living in the crawl space. Sam had been helping him, sneaking food and supplies to him, hoping I wouldn't notice. I was livid. "Why didn't you just tell me?" I demanded. Sam looked genuinely remorseful. "I was afraid you'd freak out and call the cops." Mark just needed some time to get back on his feet. Despite the surreal nature of the situation, I couldn't bring myself to call the police. Sam and Mark moved out that weekend, and I got a new roommate, a friend from work whom I trusted implicitly. The incident left me rattled, and for months, I found myself jumping at every noise, imagining shadows where there were none. In the end, I learned a valuable lesson about trust and communication. While my creepy roommate's twin brother living in the walls for 6 months was an extreme case, it made me more cautious and aware of my surroundings. And I always double-check the closets in any new place I move into.